All right. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so pumped for this Zoom tonight. First of all, my name is Jennifer Swavely. I'm a triple diamond. I've been with this business for 5 years now. I can't even believe it's been that long. And I just want to really congratulate all of you guys that are on this Zoom tonight, because you earned your spot on here and got into the 500's club. That means like you enrolled 5 loyal customers, you put in, over 500 GV, and that is just an amazing accomplishment within the company. And I just wanted to put together this amazing Zoom to really reward you guys for doing so amazing. So give yourselves high fives right now, because you're going to hear from some amazing rock stars. Get your pens and pads ready, because they're going to share with you a short, story of what this business has done for them, and then share their absolute best tip with you guys. So I'm just so excited to have all these rock stars on. So I'm just going to jump right into it, because I want you to hear from all of them. So very first on that we have is Ambassador Jocelyn Yates. I've seriously been fangirling over this girl since I started the business, watched all of her YouTube videos, and I just freaking love her. So Jocelyn, we're going to rapid fire through everybody, but just give your short story, your because of it works, and then your best tip for all of these people that are on here tonight.
Yeah, so like she said, I'm Jocelyn Yates, and I started this business when I was 19 years old. I wasn't even a year out of high school. I came into it from an expo, from a follow-up. I entered doing a free drawing, and she messaged me, or she called me a week later. So no, the phone calls from expos work. Tried to rap, lost a bunch of inches, and was like, okay, I want more. So that's kind of how I got started. I didn't really have a big why. I didn't do a ton with my business at first. I just had a couple people that I knew were interested in the products. So what ended up happening is a couple months went later, I was making less than I was paying. I was very consistent with my auto shipment and using the products myself because I wanted them, but I wasn't making any money. So I remember living at home, my parents were like, why are you still doing that? You're not making any money. And I wanted to prove my parents wrong. And so they kept saying, if you show up, you're going to go up. And basically I showed up, and guess what happened? I went up. So after 9 months in the business, I promoted to executive. On my year mark, I promoted to diamond. A year after that, well, this is kind of cool. So I went from diamond to triple diamond in 11 months, and then triple to presidential in 1 month. And then presidential to ambassador the month after that, or the year after that. No, just kidding. That would be way too fast. But so 3 years to hit the highest rank. And when I first joined, I was single, and so I dated my husband through being in this business. Wasn't making any money when I met him and married him, but he was so against it as well. Told me I needed to get a real job, and I wanted to prove him wrong too, so I did that. But my biggest tip that I wanted to share with you is something I just shared with my team today. And I know you're going to hear this in so many different phrases and ways, but I was listening to personal development today. Really good book. I can't even remember what the name of it's called at the moment, but it's like what got you here won't get you there, or something like that. And he shares this story, and he's talking about the fortune is in the follow-up when it comes to holding yourself accountable, that you need to follow up with somebody so that you are being held accountable. And he shares this story of, let's say there's 100 overweight people that are completely out of shape, and they are all attending a weight loss seminar. And this seminar, there's 3 different phases to the seminar. The first one is, it's like the raw motivational speaker that's going to inspire them. It's their weight loss journey, and they're like, wow, they lost the weight, I can totally lose the weight. Second part of the seminar is training. This is how you lose the weight. This is what you're going to eat. This is how you do workout. This is exercising, etc. And then the third part of the seminar is actually putting in the exercise and actually walking them through, okay, we're going to do this exercise together. And so, he's going through this example, and I'm comparing it to our business, thinking all right, the first one's kind of you hear somebody's story and you get inspired and motivated from them. The second part is like a training where we hop on and we learn from other people. And the third part is maybe like doing a power hour with your team and actually putting in the work, right? And he said, but out of these 100 people that go to the seminar, none of them a year later are fit and healthy. Why is that? And he then says, success is a process, not an event. And that is so true. And I want you to know that if you want to be successful in this business, you've got to look at this as a process. It's not something that you can just go to and then be successful. It's not something you can just hop on once a week and then that's it. It's something that you need to consistently do. And so realize that your success is going to come down to the consistency of it. And then once you commit to that, you muted me. My baby was the one being noisy. I'm sorry. But anyways, that's what I wanted to share. And so just know that success is literally just a matter of being consistent with the things that you know you need to do.
I love that so much. Like, I wrote that down. Success is a process, not an event, because I feel like a lot of people, when they do start this business, they think it's just going to be like this uphill climb to success, like no bumps in the road. But really, in reality, it is. It's a process, and there's ups, there's downs, you take 2 steps back sometimes, but you just keep going. And one of my favorite quotes is like, you don't change your goal, you just change the way that you get there, or your time frame sometimes. So I love that so much. And I really loved the fact that you touched on, your parents didn't support you in the business, and your fiance when you first started. So can you kind of, because I know this is like an ongoing issue with a lot of people. So what advice could you give those people that are kind of getting some negative feedback from the closest people that are in their lives?
First and foremost, I want you to know, just from my example, that if I can overcome and prove them wrong, then there's no reason that you can't. There was 3 things I think that really made the difference. What she said, just forget about what they say. No, so the 3 things. The first one is get a comma on your paycheck. I mean, they can't, like, what are they going to say after that? The second one is get them to use the products, because if they can see the products work, then they'll at least support you in that. And then the third one was getting my husband to an event. But literally, like, those are the 3 things that really made the difference. And once I got the comma on my paycheck, I made sure he saw that. Because then, like, what's he going to say, right? Go get a real job. I'm making more than he is. So as far as my parents went, my mom still did sign up as a customer because she saw the results that I was having with the products. But it was kind of like my dad was just like pat on the shoulder, like, we're going to let you do what you want because we're nice that way, but don't be surprised if you don't make any money. And so I just knew, like, for me to prove them wrong, I just had to make money. So, it's once you just decide, like, I learned this from my 5th grade teacher, and it stuck with me. She had on her wall 3 words, and these 3 words I've carried: decide, commit, succeed. And once you've made the decision and committed to it, then there's no reason why you won't succeed. So if you decide and then commit, you'll succeed.
Oh my gosh, so good. I hope you guys are writing this down. This is amazing. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Jocelyn, for hopping on here and giving us amazing tips. You're just incredible. So thank you so much. All right. Bye, kitty. Okay, so next up, we are going to bring on my amazing mentor, Chad Kneller. He's so incredible, and I wouldn't be where I am in this business without him and Jerry's help. He's amazing. He has been through so much in his life. He just launched a brand new book, Finding Happy. If you guys haven't gotten that, oh my gosh, you need to, because it's so good. And so, Chad, I just want to bring you on here, tell a little bit about your story, and what tip could you leave with everybody today?
Definitely. So first tip is move to Tennessee and your life just becomes so much better. You know, be like Rachel Jones and Zach on here, right? Just move to Tennessee. No, I'm just kidding, but you should move to Tennessee.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
No, you're working on it. Our girl from the UK is working on it. A lot of you guys on here, I think, are working on it. But anyway, so a little bit about my story. I'm somewhat of a MLM junkie. I was in the Army right out of high school from 91 to 94, and I ran into a friend that I worked at McDonald's with, which was my first job when I was 16. And she said, hey, come over to our house. She just gotten married, had a new baby, said, come over. Went over to their house, and her husband, Paul, showed me a book that had a bunch of cars in it, and another book that had boats, another one that had houses. And he said, pick your favorite boat, your favorite car, your favorite house. And so I picked him out, and he said, how are you going to get those things? And I'm like, I'm not. And he said, well, what if I could show you a way where you could? Would you be open to looking at it? I was like, of course. And so he showed me a company called Amway. Some of you may or may not have heard of it. And I was like, no brainer. Everyone's going to do this. I ended up selling my parents some toilet paper and breath spray, and no one else wanted to buy anything from me. So that was the end of my career back in 1994. But the seed was planted, this idea that I could earn money, not just from my own efforts, but earn money from profits and earn money from building something and multiple streams of income. And I was like, why did I not learn about this forever ago? So I was became addicted to the idea of the industry. A few years later, a buddy of mine got me in another company, and I made like $300 and quit that one. And then in 2001, I got in my third company, and I had my first mentor. And so one of my first clues here is have a mentor, plug in with somebody who knows what they're doing. Okay, because there's a million things we can try. There's a million ways that you can try and do this, but there's very few that work well, right? So if you're going to spend the time, you're going to do it, do the things that work well. And that's why I'm glad you guys are on here. And Jen's so smart for just getting all these people on here that have had success and hear what we've all done, right? So I had my first mentor, got to making a few thousand a month with that company. And then I ended up going back into the military because Jeree and I got together and we decided we were going to start having kids, and I wanted benefits and that kind of stuff. And I was like, all right, I'll just go back to the Army because I love the Army. So I went back in the Army, and very quickly on the side, I started company number 4, and that led to marital counseling. Because I would come home from the Army and I would be on my phone and on the thing. And so Jeree was the negative one. She was like, stop it. Just focus on your Army. So we went and talked to a counselor, and I decided to just give it all up. So I was done with network marketing, right? Got my head out of the clouds. I'm like, no, not for me. And then in 2012, I was actually getting ready to deploy to Afghanistan. I was gone at this training, and Jeree's friend had started using the wraps, and she had had her 6th baby. And she was bouncing back faster from her 6th baby than the previous 5. So, of course, that got my wife's attention. She said, let's be customers. And if we like it, we could do the business too, because there's a network marketing attached to this. And I was like, ooh, really? And so, she loved it. And then I found out about the greens right away. And I was looking how I could get off energy drinks anyway. So it was just good for us. We went Emerald our first month, Diamond our second month, sat there. I had to deploy. Wife quit doing anything. She was just kind of went into a depression when I was gone, but she kept getting paid a couple $1,000s a month and did nothing for like her 3rd and 4th month in the business, but kept getting paid because we were a Diamond with like 20,000 volume. So one thing led to another, and I came home early from deployment. Christmas Eve, got home, and that meant we were able to go to a conference together. And because of some things that had happened in the military, I was ready and I was open to looking at really making a career change. And so we went to our first conference and got really excited about what we saw there and the culture and everything. And so we came home, and in 101 days, and I say that because it was like January 16th and we were Diamond, and then we got out of conference. In between then and April 30th, we went from Diamond to double the next month, to triple the next month, to presidential the next month. And we were presidential Diamond, and we've made over $250,000 a year since 2013. So it's been an awesome ride, awesome journey. Next year, we did the same 90-day run, and we went from presidential to ambassador. And now our 2.0 spot is triple, and we're working on getting it presidential this month or next month, and the ambassador in the next 90 days with our 2.0 spot is the goal. So it's been a blast. It's been fun. Just a couple things I guess I would like to share is, first of all, I wrote down, he or she who grows the most wins. See, this business is about, when we start it, we're at a certain place, and what we have to get really good at is stretching and changing and growing ourselves, expanding our comfort zone, right? That's the people that I see going to the top are the people who are changing the most. And just remember, you have to embrace, I say enjoy the journey, because the journey is going to have ups and downs, good and bad, sideways, roller coaster. So just enjoy the journey and embrace the process. Jocelyn talked about process. I know at one thing that they talked about, boot camp or whatever, they were talking about, if you're going to try and learn piano, you don't start with reading the music and using both hands and reading the audience and doing all that at the same time, right? You don't do all that. You start with like A, B, C, D, E, F in one hand and one finger, and like poking one thing, making one noise at a time, and you get good with one hand with multiple fingers. Then you add in another hand, and then you add in all this other stuff. So it's a process, and failure is the fertilizer of success. So you have to embrace failure. You have to be willing to try something. Try just whatever your upline says to do. Just become so teachable that you're just like, all right, they said go do this, so I don't know, I'm really uncomfortable. I've never thought about speaking in front of an audience going live, but I'm going to do it anyway because they said to do it. And guess what? Your first time's probably going to be your worst. But after your 10th time, your 50th time, your 100th time, you get better and better and better. It gets easier and easier. Every expert in any field will tell you it takes about 10,000 hours to get really, really good at something, right? So the question is, do you want to stretch your 10,000 hours over like 10 years, or you just want to get it done in like your first or second year? I recommend getting it done, because the faster you get it done, the faster this is all going to make sense. And it's going to become where you can be like Jocelyn and recruit 20 people a month if you want to recruit 20 people a month, right? It just boils down to what you want. So let me go back to the 3 words that she said and just kind of put a little more on that. She said decide, commit, and succeed. So decide. Let's talk about that real quick. So there's the word homicide, suicide, and decide, right? Homicide is the death to someone else, right? Homicide, death to someone else. Suicide is death to self, and decide is death to all other options. So you have to just make up your mind that you're going to do it, right? You're going to climb the mountain, you're going to get to the top, or they're going to find you dead on the side trying, because you ain't coming back till you get to where you want to go. So that's the first thing. Commitment is such a powerful word, because commitment is doing what you said you would do long after the feeling you said it in has left you. See, success has nothing to do with feelings. Losing 20 pounds has nothing to do with feelings. You're going to feel like eating the pizza. You're going to feel like eating the ice cream when you want to lose the 20 pounds. So it matters. Your reasons to succeed and your reasons to achieve your goals have to become powerful enough to where your excuses to stop or to backslide or not do it become very small. And I'll give you a quick example. I believe that every single person on here could double promote this month. And I don't care if you're a triple diamond, you could promote to ambassador. If you're a ruby, you can promote to diamond. And here's how come I know that. Because I can't see you all, but raise your hand if you're married or if you have any kids. Married or have any kids, raise your hand. Okay, so every single one of you, I would bet my whole entire month's check. And this month should be like 45,000 with all of our spots put together. So I would bet 45,000 on you if you're married or if you have a kid, right? And here's why, is because if you went home tonight and there was a note on your kitchen table and it said, hey, you're not going to see your husband or your kids again. You're just not going to see them again until you hit this certain rank. Well, I have no doubt you'd be like, too easy. I don't need the whole month. I don't need all 31 days. I can have that done by the 20th, because you would wake up early. You'd go to bed late. You wouldn't have any fear. You wouldn't be scared. You would just be getting it done all day long. You'd be talking to everybody who had a heartbeat, right? Are you in or out? Are you in or out? Are you in or out? Over and over, you would be losing your voice like every other day, because you'd be talking to so many people. So you'd have no excuses. You'd have all the why in the world. So what I know is that when the why is strong enough, that success becomes inevitable. Okay, when your why is the biggest reason Dree and I went from diamond to presidential diamond is because I wanted to get out of the military, because my youngest son, who was 2, I was in Afghanistan, 7,300 miles away, and he got really sick, had to have an emergency surgery, and the military said, we can't let you go home yet. You have to fly the wrong direction, fill this out, do this. So I got home like 2.5 days later, and I was frustrated. I wanted to own my time. I wanted to be able to be there in emergencies when my family needed me. And I understood as long as I kept going the way I was going, that was never, ever going to happen. So decide, commit, and succeed. And so just make sure that you have a very, very strong why. It's so important to develop that. See, I'm ruined now. I could never be an employee again because I know what I'm worth now. I know what's possible now. And so as you develop your why and as you plug into your upline and you plug into the fire, make sure that whenever Mark and Cindy are somewhere in the country and they invite you, just get there, right? Whether it's conference or green carpet or Asheville or St. Louis or online, because it's all sold out already pretty much. Get your $19 online, have your friends come over, plug into the fire, because that's what's going to keep you dreaming. Because most of the world, well, since the beginning of time, basically 90% of the population's worked for the other 10%, right? So we're around mostly what we're around is people who are just surviving, right? They're enduring life. They're not really enjoying life. They're TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, because Monday to Tuesday, Wednesday kind of suck. Wednesday's hump day, but that's the general feeling that most people have. So you have to get around people who are living their dream and are chasing their dreams and who are dreaming big. So I just want to say, Jen, thank you so much for getting me on here. Appreciate you guys. I'm so excited about everything that's happening. Once you get moved into Tennessee, look me up. We'll all get together. We have a lot of fun here every month. So thanks for having me, Jen.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Chad. Like, you always have just he always says like the best thing. Anything you can come to him with, like problem you have, he just like 2.5 seconds, like knows how to fix it. And I love that. So again, Chad has an amazing book, Finding Happy, like the best book ever. You can get it on Amazon. It's so worth it. So definitely check that out. And thank you so much, Chad. You're the best. Okay, so next up, we're bringing on Jackie. Jackie, where are you at?
Hey.
Hey, Jackie. Oh my gosh, I freaking love this girl so much. She is a presidential diamond. You just got your husband's account to presidential, right? So congratulations. And I'm just so pumped. So just jump right in, like a little bit about your story and just your best tip for everybody tonight.
Sure. So thank you for having me. My name is Jackie and I'm a presidential. I've been in the business for 2 years. Actually, this month is 2 years. And you guys, this business has changed my life so much. Before this, I was working 60 hours a week, 6 days a week. And my boyfriend at the time, now fiance, was gone over 300 hours a month working for the railway. And we just went through that life for so long. And I looked at people doing these kind of businesses and I was so skeptical. And for so long, I told myself why it could never be me. Like I could never be successful in this. I didn't have the network. I'd failed in another company. And it wasn't until we found out that I was pregnant that I was like, okay, I really need to learn how to make an income from my phone, because if I don't, I'm going to be working 60 hours a week to pay for daycare, to never be able to see, Mike. And it was just going to be really hard on our family. And so I jumped into this business, and a week after I started, my upline left. And I always like to include that, because if you've been, in a position where you feel like your upline isn't supportive or isn't there for you like you want them to be, you absolutely don't need anybody to be successful. Like, you can go find it yourself. And that's what I did, you guys. I jumped on YouTube and I just found people that were killing it and I learned from them. We have $1 million training available to all of us all the time. And I just went on YouTube and I learned everything that, I felt like I needed to learn. And this is kind of intertwining my tip, but if you're starting new and you feel like you're not good at something, for me, I was not, like, I could not sign a customer to save my life when I started. Instead of sitting there and, saying like, I can't sign a customer, I'll never be good at this, other people are good at signing customers, I would just literally find videos on how to sign customers, and I would listen to tips and, tricks on the way they're wording things or how they're posting to attract customers. And I just applied it to my business. So my month 1 and 2 was pretty slow. We made like $30 a month. And, I feel like that's where a lot of people quit. But we just kept pushing through because we understood it was a business. And you guys, I truly look at this as we have access, like we are a global franchise, like we're able to, work this business as business owners. So we just understood that it wasn't going to be an overnight thing. And we just, stuck with it, stayed really consistent. And in 5 months, I was able to leave both my jobs. I was able to retire myself. So quit my corporate job and quit my serving job. And I came home and did this full time. So I was, home with Mason, and it gave us the freedom to pay off all of our debt, lines of credit card debt, debt that we didn't have in our plan to pay off for like years and years and years. Like we could barely even afford to make our minimum payment that was covering the interest. Like it was crazy. It was so suffocating. And this business just allowed us to clear that all up. And fast forward within 2 years, we just retired Mike from the railway. So now he's home full time. We have a 9-month-old daughter, and all she knows is, both of us home. And you guys, this business has changed our life so much. And I just can't stress enough that if you know any person killing it in this business on social media, anybody that's being successful, there is no reason that you can't. It is really easy as somebody new in this business or even in this industry to look at somebody else. Well, I can't do that because they are just, they're good, or you compare yourself. What you need to realize is any single person that you see on this Zoom, I don't care who it is, any single person that's having success, they had struggles, they had stuff that they had to overcome, and realize that you can do it too. Like literally there is no difference between you and Stephanie Dunn. There's just not. There's time and the hustle that they put into it. And so have that mindset when you come in and realize that you're so worthy of what this business can bring for you. Your goals are worth it. Your dreams are worth it. And it's just, there's no secret to success except for if you put the time in and you have the hustle, you will be successful in this business. I'm telling you, there's no mold that you need to fit. There's no type of person you've got to be. You don't have to align with anything. You have just got to put the hustle in. You got to invest your time into this. And typically when it comes to being a business owner, let's say if you're opening a storefront business, you're investing money into that. You're investing hundreds of thousands of dollars before you see, before you're even in the black, you're in the red. Come into this business and be prepared to invest your time. So that looks like, instead of watching Netflix, if you're sitting here and you're watching Netflix still and you're wondering why your business isn't growing, that is why. Take your time and invest it into, what is going to help you grow in this business. And that's truly what I feel, has allowed us to have this success. And I'm going to say my best tip for you is to be just consistent in everything you do. When I look at people that are not having success in this business, it is because they lack consistency in some area. It's either being, not consistent in how they're posting. You guys, posting in this business is your open for business sign. As if you had a storefront business that you had to physically go down and open the door and put your smile on your face every single day. If you bought a storefront business, you're opening that business every single day, regardless of the instant results you see from your business. Be consistent in, being willing to learn and show up. Like Jocelyn said, those that show up go up, and it's true. So be consistent, hold yourself accountable to be on your team Zooms, to be on these things, seek them, look for people that are doing trainings, find sideline sisters and, work with them. Be consistent in reaching out to people, whether that's host to post, whether you're working Instagram. Be consistent on growing your mind. If you're not doing self-development, you need to be. Your income will never surpass what you are doing with your mind, and so you need to grow your mind. Be consistent with everything that you do if you want to see results. At the beginning of your business, you're really going to feel, this is how I felt, you're going to feel like you're going to be putting in work that you're not seeing results from right away. You're going to feel like maybe you're posting or you're growing your network or you're reaching out to people and you're not seeing those immediate results. You are going to feel like you are putting work in where your paycheck is not reflecting it. And that's normal. But what I will tell you is if you are the person that works this business, based on what your goal is instead of how you're feeling right now, or how you felt at the beginning of your business, if you treat this like a business, it will just pay you like a business. And I can't stress it enough. The people that you see having success are just the people that push through the times where they felt like they wanted to quit. They're the people that push through, when someone said no to them, or when someone wrote some stupid thing on a comment about whatever it is we do. The people that you see success are just people that push through. So my advice is just be consistent and believe from the beginning that you can do this. The minute you feel yourself telling yourself that you're not worthy or it's not for you, this is for you. You can be so successful in this and it will change your life. But you need to have that mindset from the beginning. So just be hungry, be excited. Your body doesn't know the difference between fear and excitement. So if you're feeling fear, scratch it, be excited, and just borrow it from somebody else. Borrow it from any of the leaders on this Zoom. Because if we can do it, you can do it. You can so have this business and everything that it will bring to you. And I can't stress it enough, because I remember feeling like that. I remember looking at people and I'm like, oh, she's just so pretty, or she's this, or she's this. And I'm like, no, like you can have it all. Like you are so worth it, and just don't give up. You will only fail if you quit. Is that right? You only fail if you quit. Yeah, I always try to say these smart little sayings. I always mess them up, but you will only fail if you quit. So don't give up, borrow excitement, and you guys are like here for a reason. So just go kill it. That's my
girl. That was so amazing. Oh my God. You almost fired me up so good. That was so amazing. Do you guys see, like, you've already heard from 3 people. You heard from somebody that started when they were 18 and nobody believed in them. You heard from Chad, who had a military background and, you know, like was struggling with finances. You heard from Jackie that, you know, like was busy. Didn't you work like 3 jobs or something crazy when you first started? Like you're hearing from people from all of these different backgrounds and you're consistently seeing the same thing. Anybody can do this business if you're just consistent, if you just push through. Anybody can be successful in this business. And Jackie, really quick, because I think it's so amazing that your upline quit right after you started. So can you just touch on, like, real quick, just maybe somebody's feeling like they're not getting the help they need, or just talk about taking responsibility of your business and how that is going to play such a huge part in success.
I think just knowing that you can put your success or failure on anybody else. Like nobody's going to care about your dreams or your family or your bills or your anything more than you do. So just own it. And you know, it is like, I mean, I'll be like so honest with you. Like it's not going to be easy. Like anything that's worth having is not going to come easy, because if it was easy, everybody would just do it. Right? So understand that if you're in that position, you know, you have every single resource available to you. Like you guys, I'm looking at like 4 leaders right now on this team, like Zoom, that I'm like, I already stalked your YouTube channel, like from the day I started. Like I know your whole story. Like that's what you can do. Like you can just go learn from people. You don't need an upline. Like you just don't, you know, you don't. You're a franchise owner. Like everything that you need to learn can be found. And any skill that you see from anybody at the top can be taught. So it's like, are you hungry enough or not? Go find it.
I love it. Mic drop. Oh my God, you're amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so next we're gonna bring on Lachelle. She's another one, like fangirl, stalker page all the time. Like check out her videos, see what she's up to, check out her baby bump. Like she's doing amazing. So Lachelle, I'm so excited to bring you on here and just hear your story, because your story is so powerful with all the things you went through with your mom and everything. So story tip, let's hear it.
Oh, I didn't know I could unmute myself. Hi, guys. Okay, I literally was just sitting here, and I could already feel myself almost start crying. So I'm so pregnant. So if I start crying, I'm sorry. So I'm Lachelle. I've been in this business for 3.5 years now, and I feel like I have seriously grown up. Like I'm just like, it's like this is like my home. Like I feel like I've grown into like womanhood in this business. But when I first joined, I was literally like that. Just not so naive of network marketing. I had a girl, my best friend joined, and I actually tried to get her out of the business. And so like I went in not knowing anything, just thinking it was a pyramid scheme, wanting to like bring her all this factual evidence to be like, don't do that kind of thing. And then finding out through literally Google, like about the Pentecost and everything else, like basically prove myself wrong. And I ended up joining. And I had never done network marketing before. I had never sold anything before. I wasn't really active on social media at all. And it just really was all who I enrolled with. It's funny too, because she just re-enrolled with me actually too, like 2.5 months ago. My enroller re-enrolled with me. She actually went Ruby last month, but just super exciting. But she wasn't somebody that ever was going to give me any direction. And so I had to learn everything myself. And I've already heard that from multiple leaders on here. Like, guys, when you want something, you will go get it. And I learned everything myself. And I was just like going through, eSuite and document, just trying to figure out this entire thing. And so through that, I was able to promote to Ruby quick. I went Ruby in 2.5 months. And I started charting. And then finally I found Rachel's on this Zoom. And she reached out to me because I'm actually in her downline. When I was going for Diamond, she's like, hey, I'm your upline. You're going for Diamond. I want to introduce myself. I'm like, what's an upline? Like, what's that? And so I was introduced to her finally. But so I went Diamond in 4 months, double in 7, triple in 8, and then Prez in a year from triple. And why this is a really big part of my story is because growth, you know, I'm going to just put my tips, like my biggest tip into my story, but it's so important to grow in this business. Like Chad, I think Chad said it, he or she that grows the most wins, or I don't know who said it, but I mean, I remember being in the top 150 room and just looking around and seeing literally everybody in there came from, like, just knowing their stories too, from stalking them, like they came from something so small and they've grown into so much, and it's all about growth. And so from triple to pres, I needed to grow. I needed a year to be able to grow into a presidential leader, and that took a lot of self-development. And I feel like I didn't promote quickly, like that was a year wait, because I had a lot that I needed to do with myself to be a presidential diamond leader. And so then I went presidential, and I was just like ready. Like I felt as if I was just on top of the world. Like I was ready to go ambassador. There was so much momentum in my team. And a couple months after that, my mom called. Actually, a month and a half later, my mom called. My mom was diagnosed with cancer. And it just completely rocked my world. And because of this business, and because of being so committed in this business, and I'm telling you, from the day that I joined, I committed to this business. Okay, maybe not the day that I joined. It'd give me like a month in there to like realize how significant it was. But I realized that it wasn't going to happen overnight, but I knew that I was going to commit to it with no end in mind. And that is still my mindset today, is that this is my career. Like, this is what I'm doing, and I don't have an end. I don't even know what that means. When someone's like, how long people don't even ask me that, but when they're like, oh, I mean, I guess I have been approached, like, how long are you going to do that? Like, I don't even know what you're speaking to me. Like, this is what I do. This is just what I do. Like, I work with no end in mind. But when my mom was diagnosed and I had worked so hard for so long to get where I was able, because I was just like, I made this my career. I was able to pay off debt. I was able to start planning for a future. I was saving like crazy. It's one of my biggest tips in the business is to save. And because of this business, I was able to, my mom was diagnosed with a cancer, and basically it was terminal. She was going to die. And so we took her to Mayo and did a clinical trial treatment that was only, like, insurance wouldn't cover it. It was only cash. The only way that was happen was if it was cash. It was $48,000 on the dot. And because I worked this business with no end in mind, and I just worked it like crazy, I was able to pay for that with a check. And I said, I'm not ready for my mom to die, so it's time let's go. Paid for her check, and today she's cancer free. And but my mindset of over 3 years, going, like, I was like 2.5 years of just work. There's no end. Just keep going, keep saving, work. I was able to do that in that moment. And now she's here today. And I love to tell people, work this business for the future that you have no idea what you need to pay for. Like, you don't know what's coming up in the future. And if you just keep working with no end in mind, like, God will fruitfully, abundantly reward you with the things that are coming in the future. He will prepare you for when it gets there. And so after my whole mom thing, you know, when we were we were getting clear. We're like 7 to 8 months in. She was out of treatment. She was doing really well and everything else. I re-entered this business. So I saw the beauty of residual income and being able to kind of take a little bit of a step back. I would say a lot of it of a step back, because I was so focused on just her. I was her caregiver, and she was in a wheelchair. So I was literally like everything to her. I re-entered this business, and I had to re-enter my growth. You know, life is always going to happen to you no matter what, okay? There will be setbacks in life. I always love the quote, there's no such thing as a smooth mountain if you want to get to the top. There are sharp ridges that you have to step over. Sometimes you have to go down into ridges and back up. And when I re-entered into, you know, we're obviously always moving forward, and I started re-entering, going to ambassador, I realized how much my mindset was not there anymore, because I had been in the mindset of my mom. And so I want you guys to know that when you ever get, we all feel that way sometimes, we get lost almost in our direction, and it all comes back to your mind. You have to get your mind right. You have to do self-development, and you are able to start to re-enter your growth. I believe that when I came back into this business, start running back into ambassador, was about September of like a couple months ago, September, where I re-entered as almost a double diamond mindset. And I say this to everybody, I was maintaining my rank, but I came back in as a double diamond mindset and realized that I had to grow back into a presidential diamond mindset. And now I'm growing into an ambassador diamond mindset. And I just always want to tell people that, because we go through things in life, or maybe we lose rank or anything like that, where our mindset is challenged. And the best tip I could possibly give anybody is to make sure that your mindset's right, but also like trust God in your growth process. Sometimes when you go through things, you don't realize that he's putting you through those things so that he will allow you to grow to your next level. Like, I'm looking at like the Thermophyte X thing going on right now, high class problems. Like, I am grateful for these problems, because I swear, I think about it, I'm like, this is getting me ready for an ambassador, because ambassador, I know we got major problems up there. Like, we got hundreds of people always talking to us all the time. Like, it's like Thermophyte X problems is like practice round. It's like practice round for ambassador. And so that's kind of like my story, my tips involved in there. Biggest thing is just making sure that your mindset's right, you know, finding God through your growth, and just trusting the entire process, and just know that like life is not easy. There are bumps in the road. And you will make through, if you decide, you will make through each and every one of them. And on the other side, it feels so good. So just keep pushing and work with no end in mind.
Oh, so good. I had like freaking chills during your story. That's just amazing. One thing I really want to ask you is, during that growth period, what were some of the books, or something you listened to? Like, what were a few that really pop out that really helped you a lot?
The Bible. And honestly, this is something that, you know, I guess this wouldn't be really great advice for newbies, but re-listening to myself. I know that sounds weird, but when I needed to find myself in this business, I really needed to find myself again. And you learn a lot from yourself. I highly recommend to even newbies. Actually, this is a great, for any emerging leaders, you know, start doing training videos and then re-watching them. You know, we are our best teachers, and sometimes like we have to kind of watch ourselves lead, and then we can like build upon it. I just started doing major self-development, but I mean, Tony Robbins, I always listen to Tony Robbins online. I guess, oh my gosh, I don't even know why I had to not even say this yet. The Secret. I'm sorry. I literally watched The Secret so many times. I've watched it. I'm responsible for at least 2,000 views over the last 5 years, I swear. But I remember now, I would just put it on. It would just be on every single day in the background, like whatever it was, just The Secret. It was just, you know, it's like I forgot for a while when I was distracted with my mom, the power of the mind. I don't know, you just lose things sometimes. And The Secret I was listening to every single day, just constantly listening to every single day.
So good. So I know when I first started this business, I didn't even know what personal development was. I didn't know it existed. I thought people that went to therapy or read self-help books, like it wasn't something that like you do, you know what I mean? I had no idea what it was. And I remember my first kind of like exposure into self-development. We had like this girl come over to one of our team meetings. She was a life coach, and she had us all wear rubber bands around our wrists. And she said, I want you to be really aware of all of the thoughts that you think over like the next week. And anytime you think of something like negative, I want you to snap it and replace it with something like positive for the like 2 or 3 things positive like after that. And that was like my first like light bulb to make me realize how I talked to myself and how negative I was at times, and how much I would talk myself out of things, or the doubt that would pop up and all of that. So I challenge you guys to do that. Like really start being aware of what you're thinking, because you're going to be shocked at all of the things that you've probably talked yourself out of in life, all of the messages you're not sending to people, all of the people you're not like reaching out to, all of the lives you don't do, like all that kind of stuff, the things that you talk yourself out of subconsciously without even realizing it. And it was just this huge light bulb moment for me on like just paying attention to what I'm speaking over myself and what I'm talking to myself about. So, oh my gosh, Lachelle, that was so good. I always get so much like chills with your story because it's just like like words can't even describe it. It's amazing. Okay, so next up is Brittany. Brittany, are you still on here, girl?
Hey.
Hey, girl. Oh my gosh. So Brittany just went Presidential Diamond 2. She's getting, like insane results. Like I'm watching like your journey with losing weight and it's just freaking amazing. So I'm so excited to hear a little bit more about your story and your tips. So thank you so much for coming on.
No, thank you for having me. And once you told me, I was like, yes, of course I'll be on. I love doing these. I love, you know, sharing my story and just sharing tips with everybody. So I'm Brittany Cromwell. I can officially say, this is my first time saying this actually on a video, that I am a Presidential Diamond. My fiance is my triple. We are just so excited because this is like just the beginning. I'm already charted for ambassador. I'm ready to go. But you guys, like I literally started this as a brand new person, just like anybody else. So I got started because I was actually working full time. I am your average college dropout who drank too much, partied too much, and never knew what they wanted to do with their life. So whenever I fell in love, we did everything backwards that my mom taught me how to do things. I, dropped out of college, I fell in love, I got pregnant, and then I went ahead and bought a house, and we're still not married yet, but at least we're engaged. But what we went ahead and figured out is that having a kid is really expensive. So we were on food stamps, we were on Medicaid, we were on government assistance, anything and everything that we could do to save money, we did. We even extreme couponed, and we found ourselves at the end of the day just stressed, tired, and we were honestly just fighting all the time over money. They say money doesn't bring you happiness, but debt definitely brings you a lot of stress. And nobody wants any stress in their life. So I kind of just stumbled across this business because my friend reached out to me about the wraps and I couldn't afford them. So I was actually asked the question, well, how would you feel about using the products while making money? And that's the question that changed my life forever, because if it wasn't for her asking me that, I would have never thought to take that chance and take that opportunity. So I got started, you guys, and I was a slow start. I was someone who took 9 months to get to Ruby. And the same month I went Ruby, I went Emeralds. But the next month I went Diamond. And I kept going and I kept recharting, having my eyes on the next rank at all times. So that's my best advice right here, is have your eyes on the long run along with the goal that you're up for next. So every time I would promote, I'm always looking forward to what's next. And that's something I didn't do a whole lot in the beginning. I got better with. So that's kind of like a tip. I'm going to squeeze my tips in with my story. But I was a slow start, you guys. I really didn't have anybody saying, hey, this is what you need to do to make money. This is what you need to practice. This is what you have to do day in and day out. So another tip for you guys is stop waiting around for somebody to tell you what to do. You have my permission today to go out and choose exactly what you want, and it's okay to go for it. I feel like, growing up, I was told, money isn't all the answers to your problems. Money doesn't grow on trees, but it does. It's out there. It's that accessible to every single one of us. Is literally, you have the power in your hands to choose what you want to do every single day, day in and day out, to earn a paycheck. And I just think it's amazing that we don't have a cap on what we earn. We have no cap. We can make as much as we want. And it wasn't until something happened to me that's when I decided that it's time to get my butt to work and be a stay-at-home mom. So I picked my daughter up from daycare one day, and I heard that she was talking, and I wasn't there to see her first words. And that's when I will never forget driving home that day, crying my eyes out, and made that decision that day. That one decision changed my life, and where I said, okay, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And that's when I triple promoted that quickly. And, like Lachelle was saying, you don't want to have to wait for that moment. You don't have to want to get to that place and say, oh crap, what have I been doing with the last 5 years of my life, or the last 3 months of my business, where I've just been sitting at a rank? So that's when I ran. And so my advice is don't wait for that moment. Be the person now to tell yourself and be in charge of your, day in and day out, responsibilities and what you're doing with your business to make that happen before you need it to happen. So that's what I did. And then I left the apartment life. We cut our food stamp card in half. We were able to go on vacations. We were able to travel. We were able to actually spend money without having to check our accounts. And that is the best feeling in the world, you guys, is being able to say, hey, I need something, I can get it. And what's even better is being able to say, hey, I want it, well, I can go get it. And I can get whatever I want now. Our team can get whatever they want now. And that's the best feeling in the world, is that freedom. So shortly after that, I just decided I want more, and we promoted to double. And then a year later, we went triple. And then here we are, now presidential. We've been able to afford to have a second child. We were able to buy a house. So we're in a 6-bedroom house. I just bought a brand new car. We've done so many things. But more importantly, you guys, we're now a full-time family, and we brought Michael home from his corporate job. He's not in a cubicle anymore. He's not getting screamed at on phones. Like, we are a full-time family. I can't even tell you how much of a blessing that is to be able to have my freedom back that I didn't realize was robbed from me at the age of 20. When I was going to work, slaving for somebody else, doing something I didn't want to do. And how many of you guys are in those shoes right now where you're like, dang, I hate what I do, but I don't know what the next step is? This is the next step when you start taking it seriously. So I have so many different tips I can give. I could be here all night, but one thing that stuck out to me at our leadership retreat this month, this year, was when we went and we discovered so many new things about ourselves. We were able to figure out exactly what our problems were. And one thing that really hit home to me the most is because we always try to be perfect. We always try to do everything right. And especially in the beginning, you try to be kind of like where we are right now, like everyone was saying, we have those people that we look up to. We have those people that we stalk, that we wait to post, see what they're going to post next. And so I'm here to tell you, like, fear, you need to cut it. And fear shows up in 2 different ways. It shows up as perfectionism, and it shows up as procrastination. So those 2 things you cannot do anymore. You can't procrastinate. And the reason you procrastinate is because you're trying to be perfect. And you're procrastinating because you're trying to be perfect, and you're perfect because you're procrastinating. It's just a vicious cycle. How many of you guys are there and you're typing a post and you're literally there for 30 minutes and you can't get it right? It's because you're trying too hard to be perfect. So the thing that stuck out to me the most was, you have to ask people. You have to reach out to people. You have to, just be the best version of you possible. And that's what's important. If I need another Brittany, I'm going to be a Brittany. I'm going to be the best rock star that I can be, because I know that's what I'm going to attract. And I know that it's okay to be me and, unapologetically me, and growing into the best person that I can be. So, growing into the best person I can be and becoming the best distributor means that I am doing the work. So like they said, like, you guys, if you're struggling with one thing, YouTube it, figure it out. If you're not sure why something's not working, go to your upline, YouTube it, figure it out. And that's literally what I did. And now I got it down to a T. Like, I tell my downline, if you can go Ruby, you can go Diamond. If you can sign a distributor, you can sign 5. Why are you not doing it? It's because you don't think you can do it up here. So your mindset is everything. But you guys, we only got to where we are because we asked, we reached out, we talked to so many people. And that's why it's okay to be you, because you know that when you ask, you shall receive, and those people are going to come into your business. But the problem is that we are not asking enough. We're not being ourselves enough because we're afraid of being perfect. And that is fear itself, you guys. So my advice is be the best version of you. Work your tail off, become perfect, grow, and ask, and put this business out there, and don't be afraid of it. It's scary, but when I tell you, when you let fear down, that's when the magic happens. And that's why I keep promoting. Our team keeps promoting. And you know what, you guys, a huge thing about asking too is, don't be afraid of the no's. Like, I know you hear this all the time, and if you haven't, you will, but go for the no's, because it's so important that you're asking. If you're not asking, you're not doing your job. And this is the line that stuck out to me the most, is, if anyone has anything to say whatsoever to you, anything negative, anything bad, or they tell you no, oh, well, who cares? You weren't talking to them anyway. So that was so powerful to me, because that reassured me that like the people that I want on my team are going to come to me when I'm the best version of myself. So it's okay to be me, because I know that when I am me, the right people are going to step forward. It doesn't matter who unfollows. It doesn't matter who has anything to say, because I know what I want. And at the end of the day, my goals, my dreams is what's important, and nobody else can tell me different. And if you have something to say, then you weren't supposed to be in my business or in my circle at all. So that's just what I live by now. I found that I have the largest network, the most supportive followers and friends on Facebook, because I'm just me and I'm not afraid to be me. So stop trying to be perfect and stop trying to be like that person you're following, and just be you, and you're going to see your business skyrocket when you perfect what you're struggling with.
Oh, so good. I was just sitting there while you were saying, fear shows up in being a perfectionist and in procrastination. I'm like, it takes me 20 minutes to write a post sometimes because I'm trying for it to be perfect, or, that it just, the perfectionist part. And I remember when I first started, I didn't do anything with the business for the first 4 months because I was worried about what people were going to think. I was worried about my post. I would write one out and then I'd delete it. And I just procrastinated so much that I never got started.
Yeah.
And I just remember that, we were talking about, making that decide, commit, succeed. That's exactly what happened with my business. Like I remember January, I signed up sometime in October. And then I remember January 27th, I made that conscious decision that I wasn't going to live the way that I was anymore. I wasn't going to settle for less than I was. I wasn't going to continue watching my friend become successful with this business while I just kind of was over here half working it. 3 months later, I went diamond and got the $10,000 bonus. The next month, my husband got it. The next month after that, it was double. And it was all that, setting aside that procrastination or that you had to be perfect and just freaking start, that's it. You just start.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I keep doing. And now, I'm not procrastinating at all. And that's my advice is don't procrastinate on your next goal. Get started on it now. Get started on it right now, especially with the momentum we have. Oh my gosh, anything's possible. Anything.
So good. Oh my gosh, Brittany, thank you so much. Congratulations on your promotion. Ambassador's coming soon. So,
oh yes.
Yeah. All right. So next up is Cheyenne, another one, I'm sure we all stalk. It's how is this 20-year-old, a total freaking rock star? And I'm over here, how do I be hip on Instagram? Let me just see. Let's go to Cheyenne and see what she's doing. I'm so excited. So let's hear a little about your story. And I'm really excited to hear about how I know you got a lot of negative feedback when you first got started too. So I'm excited to hear that part of your story and then just your best tip.
Hey guys, so if you don't know who I am, I'm Cheyenne Knox. I'm 20 years old. I am from Marble Falls, Texas, which is near Austin. I joined this business 2 years ago in December on the semester of my senior year. So it was on Christmas break. I was sitting in bed, hanging around, looking on Instagram, and came across my upline, Courtney Bohr. And she had posted next to a brand new car. And she was talking about how she joined this business when she was 19 and she was in college. And I knew I was about to go to college and my parents would not be able to put me through school without me taking out all the student loans. I was raised by my mom with 4 siblings, and $20 was a whole lot of money. So I knew I was going to have to do something, or I was going to end up in the same rotation that my parents were in, working all day long, not having anything to show for it. And it broke my heart all the time. So I knew that I wanted to do something for myself. And so, I took this business and I walked into the kitchen and I was like, Dad, I have 20 cents in my bank account. I need $99 because I cannot afford it. So thank God for my dad, or BFFs if you don't see me posting all about him, but he gave me his card to pay to join this business. And at the time there was a $500 Ruby bonus. And so I went to go post about this business and I was like, oh no, Like all my friends in school, everyone's going to make so much fun of me for doing this. I'd heard of it works from all of like these mom bloggers and people that were going to do it, that they were posting about it, but I knew that none of my friends had. But I knew that with being in school, everyone was going to make fun of me because the moment you do something different, especially when you're young, you are literally ripped apart for it. And I was. I got mocked. I got the most hateful comments on my social media. I got people would share my stuff, talk about me in the hallway, like throw stuff at me. Like when I walked across the stage, everyone was like, you need a rap. Like I heard it all. But, I knew, and to this day, I am so thankful for that, because I would not be where I am if it wasn't for all of that negativity, because it fired me up beyond no belief. I was not about to fail. I was not about to quit, because I was literally going to be proving those people right. So it was literally every single comment, every single thing just made me so angry. And I was like, you know what? Like, just watch me. You wait for this, because I'm going to prove you all wrong. And I did. And now those people join my team, and now those people ask for products, and now those people are blocked because I've moved on and I've gone to bigger and better things, and I did everything that they told me I wouldn't do. And so, if you're young, or maybe, people from work or your family doesn't support you, that doesn't mean anything. That should fire you up rather than discourage you. I mean, yeah, we're human, and it did hurt my feelings, but at the same time, it pushed me to be so much better than I think I would have been without it. So that's a really big part of my story, because I went through high school, had to go through high school, and then I went to college, and it got even worse. The people that I've met through this business have completely replaced those people. I mean, my best friend, you guys, from like little all the way through high school, I ever blocked on social media because she talked so bad about me. She said the most awful things about me, and she didn't support me. And if people were not supporting where I was going, I shut them out and I moved on, because where I was going was way better than where I was, and where they still are to this day. But I have a lot of tips, and I could probably sit here and tell all the tips, and I think it's crazy, because success leaves clues, you guys. Like, all of the people that have been on this have mentioned the same things, and I've kind of had to sit here and like cross out my tip that I was going to give if someone took it, because every single thing that we all do is the same. Like, none of us got to where we are because we did something different. We didn't change the grain. We didn't change what we all do, because it's literally what makes you successful. What we tell you to do, and like what your leader tells you to do as a new distributor, is exactly what they did to get where they were, or they wouldn't tell you to do it. So my biggest thing is, when I joined this business, I was 18 years old, 2 months over 18 years old. And I felt so inferior, you guys. Like, I prayed and prayed and prayed and asked God, like, why did you put this business in my life when you did? Because I saw all these other top leaders with children and houses and debt to pay off, and all of these stories that I was never going to have. And I let that discourage me for a long time. I went diamond in 5 months, 3 days after I graduated high school. After those people were mocking me on the stage, I earned a $5,000 bonus. And that was a huge moment for me, because I was making $2,000 a month. I paid for everything in my dorm. I paid all of my tuition in cash as the payments came. On the first day of school, I paid $978 for my textbooks and didn't have to blink an eye. And then life hit. Me and my boyfriend got into really bad part in our relationship, and we broke up. I'm really bad with change. So moving into college was a really, really big step for me, and it overwhelmed me, and I shut everything out, and I lost rank. I lost rank from diamond to executive all the way from August to February when we went to conference. I was making $200 a month, and my dad and my mom could not help me. So it was more of a fear that set in of, I have to pay my bills and I have to figure out a way to do it. So when we went to conference, I remember messaging one of my uplines, Jade Hooper, number 3, you know who she is. I messaged her and was like, hey, hi, I need money. What do I do? And she said, get your flipping double diamond chart out. And I was like, yes, ma'am. So I got my double diamond chart out, and came home from conference and maintained diamond for the very first time. I got my mindset right. I figured out how to open a book and how to look at a YouTube channel and figure out what personal development was, because my mindset was whack. But I didn't know it, because I didn't understand the purpose of personal development. I was like, I'm fine. Like, I'm rich. I'm making lots of money. I'm 19 years old, making $2,000 a month. I don't need personal development. And then life hit for the first time. It was the first time of me actually experiencing adult things. Didn't handle it too well. And so I started doing personal development. Guys, I went double diamond right after conference. I was bringing in $5,000 a month, 19 years old, no college debt. I was able to start helping my dad, because this is where I'm talking about in my tip of timing is so important. I didn't realize why God put this business in my life when he did. But sure, I realized very quickly, because my dad actually lost his job, and I was able to support my dad for 6 to 7 months by paying the bills that he needed. I'm going to cry. Gosh dang. I was able to do that at 19 years old without a single freaking reason as to why I joined this business, because I couldn't figure it out. And that is why timing is so important, you guys. You have no idea why God put this business in your life until it happens, until you realize, oh, this is it. This is why. Every 6 months, we say this on our team all the time, every 6 months something happens in your life that makes you realize why 6 months ago this ended up in your life. It Works found me. I didn't find it. I found it on a post, but it wasn't ever something I wanted to do. I wanted to be a nurse. I was going to school to be a nurse because I wanted to help people. And God showed me this is how I was going to help people. He gave me this facilitator to be able to help people financially, help people physically. Heck, Lachelle gets me every time with her mom. She didn't plan to pay $48,000 for her mom to get cancer. She didn't plan that. But because she said yes years before that, she was able to say yes to that. So, I was able to help my dad at 19 years old. I've been able to help my siblings, my family, give back. I'm going to freaking Honduras in September. That was not a plan of mine. I'm not even with Rachel. Hello, hi, Rachel. So thankful for her. That wasn't a part of my plan either. None of this was a part of my plan, but because I said yes, and because I never ever quit when people told me I couldn't do it, when I felt like I wasn't good enough, when I thought that this business wasn't my, I was like, can you please give this business to me when I was had a kid and had a house and had debt to pay off so I could have a story to tell? This is my story. And it's so much more different than most people in this business, because now I'm the youngest presidential diamond and I get to tell that. You guys, after we get paid, on the 8th, I will have hit a 6-figure savings account, and that has been my goal since the beginning of this business. A 6-figure savings account. All of y'all, all the people that are top leaders typically say, oh, well, I paid off 6 figures of debt. Well, I get to prevent that. I don't have to be in debt. I can go purchase a house when I'm ready at that point in my life and pay cash for it because I said yes to this when I couldn't figure out why I was put in my life. So understand that timing is everything, you guys. And whether it be someone joining your team or someone leaving your team, or you not understanding why this isn't working or why this promotion didn't happen when you thought it was supposed to. I love this analogy so much. And I remember Kelsey Thornton talked about it on a live, or on a Facebook live in one of our pages. And she said, you're going to LA, okay? You're going to the coolest place in LA. You're going to take so many great pictures. You're going to see all of the cool places. You're going to do all the cool things. And all these people say hey, pick me up. I want to go with you. And you go to their house and you pull up in their driveway and you knock on their door and you knock a few more times and they don't come out. And you knock a few more times, you call them, they don't answer, and you sit there. And you wait for these people to show up that are not going to show up, but that you want to show up so badly. And they don't show up, so you go to the next house, and someone gets out, and they say, you know what, I don't really want to go. I'm changing my mind. I have cold feet. So you go to the next house, and you knock again, and they don't answer. If you have people that you want on your team, or people that are on your team now that have left you, or this promotion that you want to reach, guys, you're going to LA. And it doesn't matter who's going with you. It doesn't matter who isn't going with you. Imagine if you sat there and waited at those houses and you knock on those doors and you call the phone and nobody picks up, and you sat there and you missed out on everything that you were going for. You missed out on the promotion you were going for. You missed out on the bonus you were going for. You missed out on all of it because you were too busy waiting on everything that goes along with it, because you were worried about timing of how I'm going to get there, what this, what that. Guys, you're going to LA and you have to get there no matter what. So don't listen to the people that come and tell you you can't get there. Don't listen to the people that say, you're not worthy of going, or that I don't want to go, or maybe I'll go later. Can you wait for me? Go to freaking LA. This is your time. And this promotion, the bonuses, the timing, everything is right. You just have to go. And it doesn't matter if you understand it completely, and you don't have to know how, you just have to know why. And I know when Chad was on here talking about that, you have to know where you're going, but you have to know why you're going. As if you don't know why you're going, you're never going to get there, ever. So get your goal out, decide where you're going this month. I know this is a 500 Club Zoom. That's an incredible accomplishment. And if you just keep going and look for the next goal that you're going for, I know she set this Zoom out there for y'all and you got it. So imagine setting out a $10,000 bonus to go diamond. There's nothing standing in between you but you. So get your decision out there. Say it out loud. I'm doing that this month. I'm going diamond. I'm earning a $10,000 bonus. I'm paying off my debt. I'm putting food on the table, whatever your why is, and go get it, and stop trying to figure out why it happened or when it's going to happen or this. Just go.
Dear Lord, you're like a freaking unicorn or something. Where did you come from? Oh my gosh, that was so good. When I was 20, I don't even want to talk about it. I was just a hot mess. You're just amazing. You fired everybody up here. I want you to go look through the comments because you just blew everybody away. You're amazing. Oh my gosh, Cyan, thank you so much. Okay, so last person that we have on here is Rachel Jones. I freaking love Rachel Jones so much. I cannot wait to have her on and have you guys hear her story, because like I remember the first time I like found Rachel Jones, it was like her comeback story, and how like similar to what you went through, Cheyenne, where just you get knocked down in this business sometimes. Things don't go as planned, and the comeback that she came around and what she made happen, and just chills again. So oh my gosh, Rachel, I can't wait for everybody to hear your story and your tip tonight.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It's late. I'm literally like, I was on Facebook waiting, and then I kept seeing all these spoiler alerts for The Bachelor, and I was like, God wants me to tune in because I'm not trying to get The Bachelor spoiled for me right now. So I'm just like listening to everyone, and it's just crazy being in this for 4.5 years, and it's like just the inspiration never goes away. I just love hearing all the stories. So I'm Rachel Jones, and I've been in this business for 4.5 years now. And prior to this business, my story is a lot like Brittany's, where I did things out of order. I've been with my husband for 9 years, and we got pregnant unexpectedly when we were 20, and I was right in the middle of my college education. So my story would have probably been identical to Brittany's if my parents weren't paying for my education. Because they were paying for my education, I was forced to stay. So I was forced to stay and finish out my degree. So I got pregnant in college. I had my baby in college. I was on government assistance in college. Life was hard in college, but I did it in 4 years. And, I kind of just doing things out of order and getting pregnant at 20 years old. I mean, I'm like a baby trying to have a baby here. I just got so caught up in feeling like this is just how life is going to be, kind of like pity me. This is just how life is going to be because I'm irresponsible, and this kind of like, the slap on the wrist over and over again, just living paycheck to paycheck, the feeling in my stomach when I would go grocery shopping and look for the shortest line, because Zach never wanted to go grocery shopping with me. He didn't want me to apply for government assistance. That was the decision that I made on my own, feeling like that was the last thing that I had to do as a mom. Like that was my result to struggle. So I remember going grocery shopping by myself with all my coupons and, knocking out 17 cans of formula at once, 32, I don't even know those numbers, but they were up there. And that's embarrassing. And I know there has to be at least one person on here that knows what I'm talking about. And you have a long line and they're scanning each one on the coupon. And I just kind of like, I got to a point where I was like sick of feeling like this is how life's going to be. And I kind of switched over to like, there's got to be more to life than this. I just randomly jumped into another network marketing company fresh out of high school. It was like a 1 or 2 month thing. I don't even need a name drop, but it was more so for like older people, I would say. And I just don't even know why I did it. But I sucked at it. And so because I did, I had the mindset that like, that was probably just me not being a salesperson. So I wasn't looking for this. It showed up on my newsfeed when my son was 8 months old. I was just about to start my senior year of college, and I was interested. There was only one person posting about it. And you guys, Jade Hooper lives 30 minutes away, and she was not that one person. So that's what's mind-blowing to me is like I got in a time where there was just one random little person posting about it. I was interested in the products. I couldn't afford it. We lived paycheck to paycheck. Long story short, when I voiced that I couldn't afford it, she brought up the business side, and I had every excuse that we all have. You don't want me. I don't have a lot of friends in life or on social media. I don't even know with everything. I'm busy. As I was a full-time college student, a mom, just a young mom trying to figure out how I'm going to do life with my kid. I was a full-time server, and I was planning our wedding. My husband had just proposed. So like, I definitely didn't need to be adding anything to my plate. So I wasn't looking for something, but it found me. And when I gave her all those excuses and she like had a rebuttal for each one, that obviously sparked something inside me. And I just owed it to her to listen. And so I had this feeling in my stomach that I could at least make a couple $100s a month. So I called Zach's emergency line at work. It was not his idea of an emergency. But I just told him I was going to do it no matter what. It would be nice to have his blessing, but I was going to use that last credit card we had. And being my significant other, he definitely was very skeptical and not for it, but he wasn't going to stand in my way because I'm kind of a brat when I want to do something, and I did it. So when I joined you guys, my son was 8 months old, and I wanted a better life for him, but I never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I thought that'd be boring, and I honestly, looking back, I think that I didn't want that because we didn't have the money to do that. So I almost feel like our minds make that up for us. Like, when it's not like possible, we automatically like don't want it just to set ourselves up so we don't set ourselves up for failure. I don't know if that was the thing. I think iPhone might be unmuted. I keep hearing like a little mumbling, unless that's my candle. I don't know. Anyway, so I didn't want to be a stay-at-home mom. I wanted to do this and I wanted to prove Zach wrong. And so I jumped in, and guys, I just took off really fast. And that's the only reason I did was because failing wasn't an option. I made sacrifices, you know, downtime during lecture hall, breaks at work when my son was sleeping. I was exhausted, you guys, and I just could not fail. I didn't want to be a joke. I didn't have the nicest people on my social media. Nobody had even known about It Works in my area, which made it even harder. It was like easy on one end, but then hard because people are like, it's a scam. No one had heard about it. It's a scam. And so, you guys, it's just crazy how life has transformed in the past 4.5 years. Something new that I haven't really gotten to share except for in my posts is that in a month, we're moving to Tennessee. Chad kind of talked about it. And it's like, you guys, this is what is, I'm like cheesing because I never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Look at me. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 3.5 years, had another kid. I've been a stay-at-home mom with him. And then I never wanted to move out of state. That's scary. That's scary. We live in Illinois. Never was a part of our plan. And it was all a God thing all over again. It was such a God thing. We were just driving through, you guys, this last conference. Our flight was supposed to be canceled. There was like huge freaking freezing weather, like disgustingly freezing, like below 50. All the flights were canceled. We thought ours were going to be, we couldn't miss out on conference. So we had to make the decision before our flight got canceled. Do we drive 17 hours to conference, or do we wait and hope and pray to God that our flight doesn't get canceled? And we made the decision. It was just in our stomachs. We're like, we have to drive. We have to. And we stopped in Tennessee. And we kind of joked around about it. And then we kept talking about it throughout it. And then Zach starts telling the guys as he's drinking that we're going to move to Tennessee. It was just weird. And then we drove home early and we fell in love. And for the past 3 weeks, you guys, we just, every star was aligning. And we're moving to Tennessee. Zach's literally going there Friday to pick up our keys. And this is what's crazy about this business is how much my story has transformed. And now we literally have the ability, we have to pay rent this month. We're literally moving in on Friday, but we're not moving in until April 8th because I'm going ambassador this month. So I was like, babe, we just got to pay rent because I can't leave Illinois. I have to, I'm like locked into my office. And it's just crazy. So here we are, a stay-at-home family, leaving the state, going across the world. Not really. We're going 7 hours away, but we get to live in Tennessee. And I just never even thought, I'm sorry, I'm rambling at this point, but I never even thought it'd be that expensive to move. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, we're like throwing out all this money. It's crazy, but it was all a part of God's plan. I think it's crazy. And I feel like we're starting over day one and a new life. But anyway, so my tip, I definitely, before, if I would have talked first, I would have said everything that everybody else said, but thinking about what I could say that's different, that could influence you guys. I think the biggest thing has been my biggest aha moment lately, besides realizing just how God shows up all the freaking time and he's so good, is that, you guys, listen, if you're not using the products and you haven't spent the money on the products, I need to beg you to do so right when we get off this Zoom. Because up until probably it's been 4.5 years in, and I would say up until 4-ish years, I would never be consistent. I'm not consistent on anything in life. Honestly, it's actually a miracle that I lasted this long and It Works, and I'm not going anywhere now. I've made it this far, but I give up on a lot of things. I'm lazy in a lot of ways in certain parts of my life. And so, I'm like that with the products. I'm like that with my weight. I've battled my weight not my whole life, but I feel like I've been a mom for 17 million years. So ever since I got pregnant, my life was flipped upside down with the amount of weight I gained. I lost myself in my appearance, and I just didn't even realize, you guys, I said this on stage at conference, I had good success in this business, but now the amount of success I have now that I'm a product of the product and I lost 50 pounds and I'm like just so happy, and I'm not even where I want to be, but now that I'm actually a product of the product, not like a fake product of the product, not a here's my friend Cheyenne and here's my friend, here's all my friends, but I don't have anything for myself really because I'm kind of faking it. Like my business has been completely transformed. It's more fun than it's ever been in my life because it feels, I hate using this word, but honestly, it kind of feels easy. It feels easy now that I'm using the products because consistently, because when you're doing that, you have this confidence about you. You talk about things differently. You can upsell. You can do all these things. I went live like last month. I lifted my shirt up. I was showing how like my jeans fit. I was doing all these things. And now all these people, it's like I've established a credibility. And again, even with making all this money and being able to be like, hey, we've made $20,000 a month. Sometimes that's not enough. It's great with the business side, but what about the product side? I felt like I was kind of living a lie, not really having my own results, and kind of like there was a missing piece. I kept talking about my story and my story and my story, but it's like signing customers became hard. And then we found Host to Post, and then Host to Post is great, but then Host to Post kind of stalled, and we're like, there's a missing piece. And it was me. I was just unhappy. And I recommend doing that, you guys, because It'll change your business the day you make it, when you really make up your mind that you're going to be a product of the product and do a 90-day challenge, even if you're not overweight. I mean, there's obviously other 90-day challenges you can do, but I'm kind of speaking to the people that are overweight because I can relate to you so much, because I've lost myself in my appearance for so long. And that's my biggest regret in this business, is not taking that part seriously earlier on, because I just can't even tell you how it's just so different. It's like, it's more than credibility. It's like, you just have that. I don't know. I feel like I have value to offer. I feel like I'm more than just a mom. I just feel like I'm me. I'm starting to love myself, and everything around me in my life got better. And that in return made my business more successful. So I always tell my team, you know, your business can't be 100% awesome if your home life isn't. And that doesn't just mean like your relationship. That means everything. If I'm being a bad mom and I'm being an unhappy wife, I'm unhappy in my marriage, or I'm fat or whatever, that affects my business. When I'm in a bad mood and I have issues going on in my personal life, my business isn't up to par, because it all goes hand in hand. So, I definitely recommend using the products. I think that's the one thing that a lot of people didn't talk about on here. You guys got to go deeper than all of that. I was doing self-development. I was doing all of that, but there was something missing. I was overweight. I was unhappy. I felt like, I don't know, people started questioning things. Zach, I remember coming home from Bible study, and Zach's like, I feel like there was people in our family that started buying products from other people, and we were like, this is just weird. Like, it kind of hurts, but like, we've been in this for 4 years and I don't understand. There's like a missing piece. And Zach was like, babe, I don't want to sound rude here, but like, we're not proof that the company works. We make a lot of money, but like, we're still a little bit overweight. And it was just crazy, because that was literally like 6-ish months ago. And so we've just been taking it seriously. And I don't know, I'm kind of completely rambling here. I'm just kind of daydreaming about Tennessee, and I just kind of want to move there tomorrow. But that's what I would give. That would be my tip, is to like, make sure you figure out a way to get your hands on the products right away, because once you do, your whole business will be transformed, because you'll speak and you'll work with so much confidence to back you up.
Oh, so good. And I'm glad somebody touched on that, because I remember when I first started the business, I was using the products. Like, I was so excited. Like, your energy is different when you're using the products. You have that confidence, like, you feel excited, like, you can't fake that kind of thing. And I feel like for a while too, I went through the same thing in my business. And maybe some of you guys are on here that have been in business for a while. You kind of like get off the wagon of using the products regularly. And I recently just got back on using the products again too. And it's easier to post. You're way more excited. You're not sitting there like wondering how to like like, everything just flows easy. Like, your energy's different. And it's just, yeah, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because I feel like that's such a key part in the business. So holy moly, this Zoom has been like, I don't know about you guys. I hope you guys are freaking fired up right now. I want to see the comments blow up right now. Everybody tell me what rank you're shooting for this month, because we just crushed every freaking fear and doubt that you have. You should have so much belief that you can do this, because you've heard from so many different people with so many backgrounds, with so many different testimonies and different struggles and doubts and all of that people have conquered in this business. And if you are not fired up after seeing, like, everybody struggles in business, everybody goes through ups and downs, everybody, the road to success is not easy, but if you stick with it, if you're consistent, if you use the products, if you set a goal and make that decision that you're going to reach it no matter what, it's not if you're going to reach your goal, it's when. And it doesn't matter if you miss a goal, you keep going. You don't quit on a goal because you don't hit it 1 month. And so I hope all of you guys make the decision right here tonight, if you haven't planted yourself and made that decision, that you are promoting this month. It is happening. You are going to do it. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. So holy moly, man, this Zoom was so fired up. I have so many notes, and I just appreciate all of you guys coming on here, taking the time out of your busy schedules while you guys are promoting to ambassador and coming on here and just doing this Zoom, because it was amazing, and the chat's blowing up because all of you guys are amazing. So anyways, you guys, I'm going to get this training up on YouTube. I'll give it to all of you guys so you can pass it on down to your teams, because everybody needs to watch this. So anyways, you guys, have